You know, Judson introduced Mark Smith as their new head football coach for the Rockets this weekend. He replaces a San Antonio favorite. Jim Rackley was not only a winner, but he did it in a way that motivated, inspired, and mentored hundreds of young men. Boy, I'm going to miss his voice. Rackley will retire effective Tuesday after 26 years at the school.
Jim Rackley is sitting at home right now, probably side by side with his wife, hoping this all just goes away. The attention, the compliments, believe me, he is hating it. But for over 4 decades, Coach Jim Rackley devoted his life to a calling that went beyond coaching, turning young men into men, as he would always say. And along the way, Coach, boy, we had fun watching you do it.
I did it the right way. Everybody else!
If it is possible to sum up a life's work in one phrase, Jim Rackley's imprint on Judson Rocket football is centered on this Bible verse, Philippians 3:13.
No, dear brothers,
No, dear brothers, I'm still not all that I should be.
this is the beginning point. I am still not all that I should be, the first phrase in that Bible verse.
That was Rackley almost 10 years ago, talking about an idea, a belief that was the basis for his coaching career that spanned over 4 decades.
You got to think of yourself as a young man who's going to close some gaps and become a better man, a better person, and in turn, a better student, and then a better football player. It all works together. I think a coach needs to ask himself, why am I coaching? What is the bottom line for in this business? It comes back to relationships with the people you work with, and the people you work for, and the kids you coach. Those are going to be the things that are going to carry on, and I hope that we've done it right.
To understand why Rackley's career is ending, you must understand how it all began, even before football.
We lived on a 100-acre farm and made a living doing that. We had chickens, we had cattle, we made money every way we could. My dad was worked at the school as a custodian. He drove a school bus. I can remember sitting on the bus, riding around with him. Then later on, he was a minister, became a preacher, so we stayed busy.
In many ways, Jim Rackley has followed his dad's footsteps as a rancher, a school employee, but most of all, a man who put religion above all else.
Did you ever shy away from blending your faith with your coaching style?
I can't separate the two. I think the Lord's hand is in everything that I have done. If you choose the wrong kinds of things, no matter what you want over here, you still won't produce. You got to listen, learn. You got to want to be the best. The responsibility of raising up young boys and trying to change their lives is so great. I know that I'm going to be held accountable for how I did that job, and I could not have done it on my own. You need a higher authority, a greater wisdom. If I were to separate the two, then I would not be true to who I am. Here's how you play the game. You play the game one play at a time, and on that play, you bring it.
Rackley leaves Judson with over 100 wins and a state championship in 2002, but his coaching went beyond numbers. His style, simply legendary.
You make an excuse. What you're saying is, I am not a winner. I'd rather whine than work. I'd rather cry than fight. We got to get stronger, we got to get faster, and we got to get bigger. Because the game of football is a game that is won by big, fast, strong men. You know, to coach, the way I like to coach, you got to be able to run, you got to be able to jump, you got to be able to get after it. And just to be honest with you, my wheels just don't work as well as they used to. Every great football team that Judson has ever has had an abundance of great leaders. We will not make effort mistakes. We will get after their tails with every fiber we got. One play at a time, 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 one play.
Frank Arnold, legendary Judson coach. D.W. Rutledge, legendary Judson coach. Jim Rackley, legendary Judson coach. When you hear that, what goes through your mind when you are put up with those two men that I know you have the utmost respect for?
I don't know if I'm in there. I don't know if I'm in there with them. I aspired to be like them, then I ran my race. If I just loved them and the way they did things, and I loved the way they loved kids. They had such a genuineness in that. It was my aspiration was to be like that and to carry on what they had established here.
Faith and football were always his priorities, but family is also his foundation. And quite frankly, after 42 years in the coaching business, Rackley's wife, Gary, deserved to have her husband full-time. She's earned it.
When we got married, I was the head baseball coach at Mathis, Texas, and this was back in 1973. Back then, I had to take care of the field. So she went out and helped me stripe the field and rake the field and pick the stickers off the field. I was looking over there one time when she was down on her hands and knees picking up the stickers off the field, and I said, I think I married the right lady. The game of football is a great game, but I don't have to have it in my life. The it in my life is the Lord and my family and the kids that I can have an influence on.
You did. When you made your decision, you were adamant about you wanted your kids to find out from you. But I'm hoping that you will share with us some of what you told them and what their reaction was the day you said, I'm hanging them up.
That's the toughest part about the job. Every coach dreads that meeting. I reminded them of what this program is about. And I reminded them that they have an obligation, a duty, as a Judson Rocket, to keep Rocket pride alive.
Make that your habit in everything you do, so that it carries forth, so that it carries on, so that 50 years from now, you look back and say, I did this thing right. Whether it was in the classroom, whether it was in the football field, whether it was at a job, whether it was as a husband, the leader of a family, whatever it is, I did it the right way. Everybody else?
I feel that they're such good boys. I love every one of them, and I will always love them. And I hope they felt that love.
Hold on to your seats. It's time for the IPAC Ram Tailgate Talk.
And tonight on the IPAC Ram Tailgate Talk, we are talking about Jim Rackley's place in history and our own memories of the man who made a difference in so many ways. First of all, Dave, that's a fantastic piece.
It's all him.
He's one of the greatest. We're going to quickly share our great memories of him. He won one state championship as the head coach at Judson, and he did it on 7 pro right, 70 up.
Yes, he did.
This play, again, with 13 seconds left in the game, Judson had no chance to win the game, but they win the game on an 80-yard bomb as the clock runs out, only because of Jim Rackley, I believe. I don't think there's another team in the state of Texas that can win a game in that situation because of the belief and the faith that they had that the game was never over. You saw all that video in the mat room and in the weight room, and Judson, there's something about the way they did it. And after they gave up that touchdown and scored there, they never believed. They fought till the final play. And again, I don't think any other team in the state of Texas would win that state championship on the very last play of the game with an 80-yard bomb. But they believed they could. That sticks with me. And his faith and his courage to coach in the public school system when you're not supposed to be allowed to stand up and be that bold. He never blinked. And
he would tell you he's doing it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I love that about him. I have so many memories, but I'm going to share one with his son. Caleb told me earlier this week. I asked him, what was he like as a dad growing up? Did he yell? Did he scream? Because I think a lot of folks think he's that guy that you saw in the classroom and in the mat room and stuff. And Caleb said he's anything but. He's a very gentle, sweet, kind man, but that emotion comes out. And what they would see with him as a dad was tears. And he taught his children, his son, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be emotional. That's what he gave his players. I truly believe he was a father to hundreds and hundreds of kids that came through that program.
That didn't have fathers.
That did not have fathers. Guys that grew up in single mom households. I did. I grew up that way, and I absolutely respect him for the way he conducted himself on and off the football field for the last 40-some-odd years.
I know he's watching. Coach, we're going to miss you. You did well. You say you wonder if you did it right, you done right.
Yeah, he did.